All right, students, welcome back to your second set of lecture notes for microeconomics. We will begin the class on the slide that says microeconomics. That is why the basis of why we must study microeconomics. All right, I've given you some definitions there, some basic definitions of what microeconomics is. If you look closely at it, the first one is microeconomics is the process of breaking up the economy into small, manageable problems. So in order to try and sort of understand and study microeconomics, you need to break the economy up into segments or into parts or into sort of portions. So in that way, it sort of enables you to understand piece by piece approach to the general concept of what is microeconomics. All right, the certain factors that we look at in microeconomics, factors which in itself is very pivotal to the study of microeconomics. You will see that the first sort of important factor is the human element or the individual. In law, when you talk about individual or person, it could mean a human being, a person, or you could also mean a company in law. So always have that in mind. So when you talk about individual, we're looking at the individual persons in the economy, their behavior, the spending habits, their response to price, their response to demand, their response to supply. All these factors are very, very important in the study of microeconomics. It's a basic building block of microeconomics. All right, that's the individual, and then you look at the market as well. So the individual market, so the specific market for car, petrol, housing, labor markets. You see that these individual markets, different individual markets, have the sort of effect, the potential of affecting microeconomics at the micro level. All right, the second sort of factor we look at is the individual decisions. For instance, what does the individual prefer? Preferring chicken over tin fish or preferring a particular brand over another brand. And those individual choices are basically what has some effect or have some sort of bearing on microeconomics. All right. Third, it's the interaction between market and problems. All right. When a certain event occurs in the market, it creates a rippling effect throughout the micro level in the economy. You would see that a classical example is when Puma decides to stop supplying fuel in Port Moresby. You would see that the demand for fuel will shoot up and the cars will line up outside service stations because of the fact that supply has decreased as a result. Demand has shot right up. So this is some of the basics why we study microeconomics. We try to see the behaviors of markets, the behaviors of individuals, and we've studied the platform where they interact. And when we study that platform, that is why we try and say that we understand the concept of microeconomics. All right, if you the next slide there, we with microeconomics we get to study and understand why large systems operate the way they do based on analyzing consumer behavior, individual choices, and how it influences businesses to set their prices and operate the way they do. When doing this, you see that the consumer behavior, the individual choices, and the consumer behavior is very important because it influences how price is set. If more of a good is demanded, that means the price will go up. And if less of a good is demanded, that means the price will drop. So in another way, understanding your customers, understanding your consumer base, and their individual choices is very important sort of criteria for business. Right. Also, when you try to understand choices, you look at what you call the cost benefit analysis or benefit cost analysis. This concept sort of teaches you to look at the benefits and costs, weigh them up, and make a good decision. You're making a decision at the margins. When faced with the decisions, you have to determine the alternatives, assess the benefits and the cost of its alternatives, and choose the one with the greatest benefit minus cost. All right. How do we do that? All right. A classic example is you look at the sort of choices you make up when you say, okay, we want to choose between, let's say, tin fish and chicken for dinner. Simple choice like that. So when you look at a simple choice like that, you note that when you look at the price, because of the fact that the chicken sort of at that time the chicken flu, bird flu, had just come in, wiped all the chickens out. The prices of chickens have shot high because of the fact that the supply has decreased. Then what you say is that, all right, because of there's a lack of sort of chicken products in the market, the prices have gone up. To satisfy the protein requirement in a everyday diet of an individual, we'll just go with tin fish because of the fact that tin fish is cheaper. All right, thank you for that. In your next class, we will talk about the table on microeconomics, supply, demand, and price quantity, and then we'll look at what we'll be studying in microeconomics. Thank you.